Now, after the first class that we have seen of the society which turned against the Britishers, that is the ruling class, we will move on to the next class, and that is the peasants, the farmers in the village. The farmers in the village started lamenting about the harsh and the high revenue policy of the Britishers. They realized that the Britishers has started extracting more and more out of them, and in order to meet their needs, they had to actually take up loan from the moneylender, and they were never able to pay the money to the moneylender and were forced to sell their ancestral land in the market, and thus they became landless farmers, for which they totally blamed the Britishers and their cohesive policies. After this, the next class that we have to see is that of the Sepoys. Sepoys is in fact the anglicized version of the word Sipahi, which means a soldier. The Sepoys of India were unhappy about their pay and allowances. An Indian soldier was paid much less to his European counterpart, and he was not paid any allowance when he went outside India to fight for the Britishers. Besides, he could not rise above the rank of a Subedar. Another thing that actually pained them was they thought that the Britishers were trying to encroach in their religious beliefs and traditions. According to a Hindu tradition, one should not cross the sea, because if you cross the sea, then you lose your religion. But when the Britishers started the war in Burma, they forced the Indian soldiers to go by sea. The Indian soldiers resented and said that they are ready to go and fight, but they shall go by land, which made the Britishers angry, and they started putting up pressure on the Indian soldiers. Besides, in 1856, a new law was made by the Britishers, according to which the Indian soldiers, if they were in the army of the Britishers, had to actually undergo this sea crossing. That is, whenever the requirement was, they were to cross the sea irrespective of their religious sanction. So, the peasants and the Sepoys, both of whom came from rural background, that is, most of the peasants had become Sepoys. So, the sufferings of the peasants were known to the Sepoys, and the sufferings of the Sepoys were known to the peasants, mixed up and took a bigger stance.